of the problems with love is we don't know ourselves well enough to know who we want. Introducing Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. You send us your date of birth, we send you a custom video, and we'll talk all about you. The kind of charisma you have, your personality, are you funny, not funny? What's a perfect romance? What's a perfect wedding? What's a perfect home? And what not to do with you. Find out the secret to your heart at secretsofbirthdays.com. End all the uncertainty. Order one now.
Soul Garden. Live, love, be.
Good morning. From my smartphone to yours, I'm Castin Love. Direct from the Serious Joy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. This is your Monday, Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Christopher Witecki. My modality is psychic astrology, and my personal mission is to stand in my heart, unite my light, and help other people unite theirs. This webisode is for Monday, March 21st, 2016, and today the Great Human Walk has progressed to Step 1 Aries. Hello, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a new week. It's a new spring here in the Northern Hemisphere anyways, and it's a new you that will be born in the next 15 days. If you don't know, Aries is the part of our consciousness that is our ego. So everyone on Earth goes through an ego makeover in the spring. That's the rebirth that we go through. And that is the idea of being reborn. Aries is our consciousness that gets things done. The part of us that moves, takes action or doesn't take action. And of course, the part of us that goes too far when we take action. Saying too much, doing too much, or not doing enough. And this year, on Wednesday to be precise, we will have a lunar eclipse in Libra, which will fracture people's egos and cause them to rebuild. So the universe is giving us an extra push to help us fall down harder, okay? So it's going to be a tough week, and I'm going to be there with you, of course. First, though, let's start with today, the first day of Aries, and today's vibe. Today's vibe is sunny, yet I think quite skeptical. That's the combination of the sun in Aries being optimistic and ready, but a moon in Virgo making us re-question and wonder. My heart today seeks to be strong. It seeks to be loved, and it seeks to love. That's because Step 1 is ruling the day, and that is the I love vibration. So our hearts are coming out right beside our egos today. I feel I'm expanding, and I feel I am going to be moving to new heights. And that's because the moon is in Virgo. So we're nitpicky, we're self-critical, but we are going to expand because the moon will cross over Jupiter. I'm open to spiritual integrity and inner truth. I'm feeling at peace, and I'm living in harmony with others. That's because Venus, what we're open to, is at Step 11, Pisces. Today I'm thinking about all my spiritual feelings, all my spiritual desires, and my mind is tested right now as to whether or not it will happen. That's because Mercury is at Step 29 of Pisces, ready to cross over into Aries in the next 24 hours. I am moving ahead with what I think about my learning, about my believing, about my mission, about my purpose, about my adventure, about my travels. I am moving ahead. Things are moving ahead. And that's because Mars is at Step 5 of Sagittarius. And finally, I'm learning today to expand my feelings to accommodate an easygoing reality. And that's because Jupiter is at retrograde at Step 16 of Virgo. So today, on the first day of Aries and the first day of spring, really, of the working week, your joy question, you choose to accept it, is to listen to the inner king or queen inside of you. Observe what is working and observe what is not working in life. Now, for me, the inner king or queen is a term I use with my Serious Joy subscribers. It refers to that inner heart in us, but the heart in us that is empowered. So our inner empowered heart is out today. And that means our inner child, our inner prince or princess is also alert and with us today. And so today, no matter what you feel in your heart, recognize it as a simple report from your heart as to whether or not you like your life or what's going on or the conditions. And the early stages of a transit like this in Aries, people often don't like what they see. And so there might be some temptation for temper tantrums or throwing a fit. But really, you're just getting ahead of yourself because we're going to get to these things. So today, listen to that inner king or queen inside of you and observe what he or she has to say about the day. All right, friends, let's now transition to today's topic, which is a unique one. I'm going to continue with where I began Friday, and I'm going to look at the stars of the lunar eclipse that we're experiencing on Wednesday. So it's going to be kind of combined with the Zenden into one long segment, so you can kind of get deeper on this topic, and this will be for today only. So today, part 2 of the lunar eclipse coming on Wednesday. Today's topic is the March lunar eclipse in Libra, part 2. Tips and tricks for preparation. Hello. Well, we're going to talk about the lunar eclipse that's happening on Wednesday. And this is a very powerful event. I've been talking about eclipses. I've been sending out with texts about eclipses for my subscribers. It is an event that forces an alteration of our directions and where we're going. What it does for us this week, this lunar eclipse, is creates a little tug-of-war between justice and fairness and one's ego. And what happens is the universe dumps a ton of emotional energy onto the justice and fairness part. And what this does is literally make people super aware of what's fair, and that makes ego have to tear down or change on the other side, which is Aries. So we're all going to have a little bit of an ego breakdown. Some egos take this well, some egos don't take this well. And this is the universe, I think, working on us to let go of certain attachments and move toward fairness and the light. All right? So let me pose to you a 5 o'clock question that's designed to help you with preparation. The first part is there an area of life that you find to be completely unfair? Is there an area of life that you find to be completely unfair? And the follow-up, are you sure you're operating in the right place? Okay, so I'll answer this myself. Is there an area of life I found to be unfair? Yes, I'll go back in time. I found the TV business to be completely unfair. Completely, there's no way to get ahead. There was no real opportunity there. It appeared like there was, but you had to know people or be romantically engaged with people or sleep with people. I mean, it was really that sleazy. It really was in every direction. Every time you try to get up past just the worker bee level, I have to say, it's like anytime you saw who was running shows or who was getting deals or who was selling shows, all of that didn't seem to be very legit at all. And I got upset. So I was like, this is unfair. I'm not dealing with this. And that's really where I'm bringing to the next question is, a lot of times when things are completely unfair and stacked against you, I think we're meant to not be there. It's like our egos insist on winning this game we can't win. And, the thing about it is there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. There's 1,000,000 ways to send a message. And that's where my follow-up question is, are you even operating in the right game? After I had tried and tried and tried and tried and tried, I realized, you know what? I want to reach people. So I went on the internet and I actually started to reach people and my message got heard and I didn't have to report to anybody and I'm growing at a natural and organic rate. So this eclipse that's coming up, it's going to probably karate chop a part of your life that you think isn't fair. For those who need to give up, it might pull you off the fence and just be like, give up already, For some people, it'll be another loss. For some people, it'll be something happens that makes you very clear. But it's probably something your ego is pushing and insisting on winning that really wasn't in your heart's best interest. So try to identify this ahead of time and do a preemptive strike of ego. And that's the thing. Now, ego, by design, this is where we're at in Aries, does not want to give up. It's the one part of us that's designed to survive. So, Creator put in us this will to live, and it comes out in our ego, and it comes out in our actions, and we're programmed for this. Now, this will to live must be tamed. We're going to be talking about that this month with the Sun in Aries and some other little tricks I have for you. And sometimes, because people don't control their ego, and because on the inside it doesn't feel like you have an ego, on the inside it feels like you're being strong, and on the inside it feels like you're being determined, on the inside it feels like you're not letting the world get you. But on the outside, if it's not spiritually not obsessed, but looked at, what I'm looking for, assessed is the word I was looking for. If you haven't assessed it spiritually from the outside of your ego, you may actually be pushing for things that are not in yours or anyone else's best interest. So, how do we get past this? Well, we have, like I said, a lunar eclipse this week, which means you can do a preemptive strike and bring a part of your ego down, like a demolition, a planned demolition, that needs to go down. And the part that needs to go down is the part that's fighting the fight that can't be won. The one that keeps insisting on fighting and winning a certain fight. That's the demolition crew. That part of you needs to go down. And it doesn't want to go down, and it's designed not to go down. So it's up to you to find a way. Love, I think, is the way. So this eclipse on Wednesday, in my opinion, will be shifting the playing field on Earth. We've seen a very interesting political game with the presidency. We're seeing a lot of interesting international politics. Like I said, with Mars and Sagittarius, we had train crashes, we had plane crashes over the weekend. A lot of stuff going on. In this eclipse, I think cheaters will be exposed, egomaniacs will be revealed, and actions, particularly corrupt actions, will be uncovered. So I think a lot of smut is going to bubble up. I think the definition of fair will begin to be rewritten in the collective consciousness. Fair in all terms, and I think we'll see this question of fairness come out from the lunar eclipse. And I think at the end of the day, everyone is going to have to put to rest a part of their ego. So let's look at the overhead projector and see the planets that happen on Wednesday. And I just want to stress, I'm not going to talk about Monday's planets in today's show. I'll get on to the daily planets on Tuesday. I'm talking about Wednesday's lunar eclipse here ahead of time. Okay, so looking at the planets. Now here, calculating California, about 5 a.m. is when it apexes in Los Angeles, California. And the sun is at 3 degrees Aries, okay, which is step 3 in my book. Step 3 is I believe. So something your ego believes will fraction. So it's really a belief. A belief breaks down that your ego once had. But ego is all based on belief. So it goes running based on belief. So if you have an ego problem, you have a belief problem behind it, incidentally. Now, the eclipse is, of course, a full moon where the Earth's shadow will cast onto the moon, and so the moon will go dark. So 3 degrees is the apex at the moment. So 3 degrees, 17 minutes here in Libra. Libra is I receive. Okay? So having the moon fill up with I receive energy means our emotions receive tremendous information. And that information reveals the balance of things, whether things are fair or not. So you may accidentally receive a receipt from your husband and realize that he's bought a gift for someone else. You might receive information from your tax attorney that someone in your company is pinching from the vault. You may receive the truth when you look in the mirror one day. So, and it's emotional and it's intense. And because it's emotional, it lights us up and we're like, oh, okay, and at that point, the ego freaks. Now, I want to just say, be careful, folks. People tend to go in a fight or flight during Aries, and they tend to overreact. So you definitely want to do a little, deep breathing and make sure that you're just going to accept whatever ends up shifting. And it might be very small in your life, and it might be very big in your life. It all depends on your drama level and how experienced you are on Earth. Now, at the time of the eclipse, which is early in the morning here, on Wednesday, I have here at 5 a.m., really early in the morning in the United States. So it basically will, the energies will basically happen in my sleep and in many people's sleep, but those in New York will be like right where you're going to work at 8 a.m., right? But at this moment, the mind is on what? It's on step 2, okay? And that means it's on what we feel. So our mind will be on our feelings, which means our thoughts and feelings are encoded together to this. Venus, what we are opening up to, is at step 13, which adds to a 4, which means that Venus is opening up to a new belief. We are open to a new belief right here. We don't realize we're open to a new belief, but we are in this moment. So if God were to throw us a new one all of a sudden, we might actually accept and receive it. So everyone's susceptible to that. It's spiritual, and it means that you will end up belonging somewhere else, step 4, when they add together. Now, following Spirit here. Yeah, Spirit wants to talk about Mars. Mars is at step 5 during the eclipse. Now, Mars is important because Mars is the ruling planet of Aries, and what we're dealing with is our ego. So what does our egos focus on at this point? It's on step 5. Step 5 is I think, and that means that at the moment of the eclipse, our mind is on, our Mars is on whatever we think, right? So our ego is basing on whatever we think. What are we thinking about? We're thinking about whatever we're feeling. Okay? What are we feeling? We're feeling our belief. Back to Mars. Okay? So this is how it all kind of like wires together. But the overall point of this is that in this emotional tug-of-war, you're going to have a whole bunch of information fill one side of you, and you're going to have your ego resisting on the other. The best way to go through something like this is to surrender to your feelings and just feel it all out. Feel it out like it was an acid trip. Take the red pill, experience what it all is, and tell your ego, hold on. We will deal with this once we understand everything fully. I promise. And I think in my experience, when we promise our ego that it's going to get some sort of treat, but we don't know what yet, we can stay at bay. If we allow ourselves to fall in fight or flight, we can do things or say things we regret and damage ourselves too far. Okay, that's it for this. So I do want to give you an affirmation for the day, one that will help you with this eclipse and today on Monday. I love myself first today. My actions must benefit me. I love myself first today, and my actions must benefit me. Those are really the two keys. If you are focused on loving yourself, and you're focused on only things that will help you, you put that little filter in, and you today will, I think, see where you need to go. And for those watched over by my personal Sensei network, I am so grateful for your subscriptions. Today, your eye candy at 3 o'clock your local time will discuss your prenatal lunar eclipse. Last Friday, we talked about your solar eclipse and your natural-born strength on Earth. Today, I'm going to talk about your shadow, where you are emotionally eclipsed by nature. In some cases, for those who have a lunar eclipse in Libra, this will be a very difficult and test of your natal lunar eclipse. So you'll get a little extra text if you do have a lunar eclipse in Libra. Look for that at 3 p.m. your local time. And I want to remind everybody that I've got services available to the public in all varieties of cost. You can get a Secrets of Birthdays video report for just $19.95. You can get a birthday call for $49.95, and you can get a 1-hour reading with me for $250. Either way, it's a way to get you started on your personal enlightenment. Come on down to soulgarden.tv. All right, I'll see you tomorrow with more. Remember, I love you, and live, love, be.